Hello, love. It's Kat here from Selfunity. Welcome to today's pick a card reading. I am so grateful and honored to be here with you today, love. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me. Now, for today's pick a card reading, we are setting the intention to receive messages of guidance that you most need to hear and receive at this time. And I am setting the intention for these messages to come through with a sense of being very straightforward and just quick, straight to the point messages. All right, so we are trying to not keep you here too long. We just want to receive some quick messages of guidance that you need to hear and receive at this time. All right, love, so let's go ahead and get into it. So if this is your first time tuning into a pick a card reading, how this works is I have set up 4 different pile choices here, 4 different decks for you to choose from, and I will share the names of these decks and also the crystals that I have paired with each deck, and then each deck or pile represents a separate reading, and then I will have the timestamps listed in the description box down below for you to click on depending on which deck or crystal you choose, and that will be the reading that has the messages of guidance that you're meant to receive at this time. Now, sometimes people will ask, what if I feel drawn to more than one deck or crystal? That is perfectly okay. You can listen to both if you feel called to. If you don't want to listen to both, then I always say just trust your gut, trust your intuition, go with the one that is just calling to you most. If you're not really sure which one's calling to you most, maybe just pick the crystal that looks the prettiest to you, or just pick the deck that you kind of vibe with the most, the one that sounds the most interesting to you, okay? Now, I usually only work with one deck for our picking pile choices here, but I felt called to use 4 different decks today. So each reading will be created with a different tarot deck, and then we will be pulling a couple oracle cards to go on with the messages that come through with these different tarot decks. Okay, so let's see what our deck choices, pile choices are for us today. So here for pile 1, we have the Lightseers tarot, and we have this gorgeous Lemurian quartz crystal, a tiny little Lemurian quartz crystal. All right, so pile 1, you have Lightseers tarot or Lemurian quartz. All right, so pile 2, you have the Cozy Witch Tarot deck or the Flourite Teardrop. Beautiful hues of purple. This is a little bit of a darker shade of purple for a Flourite. It's very, very gorgeous. All right, so pile 2, you have the Cozy Witch Tarot or Flourite. Pile 3, you have the Tarot of the Divine paired with the Larimar stone. It's like a small little pebble of Larimar. And I'm feeling called to share Larimar only comes from one place in the world, the Dominican Republic. All right, so pile 3, you have the Tarot of the Divine or Larimar. And then pile 4, you have the Wildwood Tarot or this little flower agate mushroom stone. So the stone is flower agate, and then they shaped it into a cute little mushroom. And there's like a little butterfly symbol there as well. Okay, so pile 4, you have Wildwood Tarot or the flower agate mushroom stone. So those are our pile choices today. So go ahead and select the deck or crystal that is most calling out to you. And then again, there will be timestamps listed in the description box for you to click on, and it will portal you directly to the beginning of your reading, which is where I will meet you. Hello, loves. Welcome into your reading to those of you who chose pile 1. So if you chose pile 1, you selected the Lemurian clear quartz crystal, or you chose the Lightseers tarot deck. All right, love, so we are just going to go ahead and get right into your reading today because we are setting the intention that these are just quick, straightforward messages of guidance that you need to hear and receive at this time. So let's see, what does those individuals who chose pile 1, what do you need to know today? All right, let's get, oh, I was going to say one more, but you had 2 flip over, so we will take them. All right, so you have the Ace of Cups and the 5 of Wands flipping out together. So let's put these here, and then we'll see what your other 2 are. Okay, we also have 15, the Devil. And we'll see what your last card is here. We have 6 of Pentacles. All right, loves, so your message is very straightforward here. So what I'm seeing is that there is something that you have been wanting to achieve, something that you have been wanting to move forward with and take action upon, okay? But I am seeing here with the Devil and the 6 of Pentacles next to each other that there's almost been this challenge around the energy of reciprocity, okay? So the energy of giving and taking, receiving and giving, okay? So what Spirit's saying around that energy is, I'm seeing a divide here. So for some of you, there could be something in your life where you are hoping to receive some sort of reciprocity from it, okay? So maybe you're overgiving in a relationship or connection or situation, but you're not really getting anything in return from it. Or it's vice versa, where you are taking, maybe consuming from something, and you're not giving a lot back to that energy, okay? So an example coming through here. So the Devil card, when the Devil pops up, it can also represent addictions. And so I'm seeing something around, you know, everyone's addicted to like social media these days. And so what I'm seeing around that is like, maybe you're always on social media, but you're just consuming. Maybe you're never really liking people's posts, or you're never really commenting on things, or just taking in information. And then maybe you're never really like sharing things on your own page. You're just like looking at everyone else's page. And so there is this energy where there needs to have this balance reestablished around this sense of giving and taking, no matter which side you're on. If you're on the side where you're constantly taking or you're constantly giving, there needs to be some type of reciprocity that comes in, some type of balance being restored, in order for you to feel more at peace and centered with what it is that you're actually trying to achieve, okay? So I'm seeing that whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, whatever it is that you're trying to move forward with, it is something that you have a lot of love around, because you have the Ace of Cups here. You have a lot of passion around it, even with the 5 of Wands here. It's something that you're really passionate about. It's something that you really want to work. You want it to work. All right, but it's not working because it's just something is out of balance in that energy of reciprocity there. And so it's really important that you take a moment to reflect on where things are a little bit off kilter and where you can restore that sense of balance, whether by opening up lines of communication to put things into place so that you're able to receive more than you're giving, or reflecting on where you're taking and reflecting on how you can be able to better provide to what it is that you are essentially taking more from than you're giving to. Okay? Okay, so let's see if anything else comes through with your tarot here. So I am really drawn to the notion that you have 2 5s here. You got the 5 of Wands and then 15, the Devil. So you may be seeing sequences of the number 5, such as 55, 555, 55, 55. And 5s represent this energy of like almost being there, like you're in the thick of it. All right, maybe you've been on this journey for quite some time. Even though we have Ace of Cups, which can symbolize a new beginning, it feels like it's a new beginning within a journey that you've already been on. So your perception around something that you've already been connecting with and working with, it's just transforming, it's changing because of this sense of imbalance that has taken place. It's not something that's new, it's something that may have been happening for quite some time. And now you have to become aware of where that imbalance is and restore the balance through that sense of reciprocity that we've been talking about. And so it's like there's going to be a sort of new beginning of perspective and a new beginning around how you're interacting with this journey, with this relationship, with this job, this career, this project, whatever it is. There's just going to be a sort of rewriting of how you're connecting with this energy, with this situation. And so even though it's not a new beginning overall, it's a new beginning in how you're connecting with it, so that way you can continue moving forward on this journey with the sense of emotional fulfillment and passion and dedication, and a sort of reclamation of reigniting the flame to have what you want actually occur, okay, versus kind of getting caught up in this imbalance that's been taking place for some time now, okay. Okay, love, so let's go ahead and pull your oracle cards now. So we are going to pull some oracle cards from the Seasons of the Witch or Litha oracle. I don't know, I almost said Ortha Loracle. Okay, kind of a twist on words there. I was like, what was I trying to say, Spirit? Alright, so getting words mixed up. Maybe somebody is getting their words mixed up. Maybe there is just like lack of communication in the situation. A little bit lack of awareness as to what you're actually trying to achieve, what you're trying to make happen. And it's not that there's lack of awareness around what you want to have happen. It's more so around the like patterns and habits, maybe addictions like we talked about, that you're just getting caught up in, that is unable to allow you to progress forward into the spaces that will allow this journey to provide you with the deeper sense of emotional fulfillment and reciprocity that you're seeking to receive from it. Okay, so we have paper boats number 27. Stay afloat and don't tilt too much. A lesson awaits you. Yeah, so you're definitely learning some hard lessons here. And wow, we have bike ride with number 1. So another representation of like a new beginning coming in. It is in the stillness and presence of the journey that you will find yourself exactly where you need to be. Okay, so what I'm seeing with these two cards is essentially, even with the symbolism of the 5s here, is to just keep going, keep working at it. This isn't something that you have to throw in the towel on. This isn't something that you have to give up on, even though it feels like it may be a bit of an exhausting journey, because there's still this sense of deeper internal work, and thus naturally a deeper sense of external work that needs to take place in order for you to bring your energy and the energy of maybe others that are involved, or the environment, or the situation as a whole, in order to bring that energy back into a space of balance and reciprocity. There's still work that needs to be done, but it's not too much that you should just give up on it. Okay, so somebody needs to hear that you don't need to turn your back to this journey, because I do feel that it is one that is very much connected to your heart center, to your soul truth. It's something that you're really passionate about. It's something that you really, really want to have work out for yourself, and for the experience and for the connections that are involved and that are being attracted based on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve by continuing to pursue this journey. Okay, so Spirit just wants to remind you that this is something that your heart has guided you to pursue. It's something that your soul has guided you to pursue. It's just that how you're pursuing it, how you're trying to make it happen, needs to really be reflected on. Okay, there are reflections that need to happen, and then changes that need to be implemented, whether it be through communication, habitual pattern changes, reconditioning those belief systems, and then also maybe making more of an effort or allowing yourself to hold back a little bit, depending which side of the give and take your imbalance is falling upon. Okay. So just needing to really reassess and reflect on, where you're giving too much or where you're taking too much, and where you can bring that back into a greater sense of balance. And communication keeps coming up as well. So if there are other individuals involved in this, you may need to communicate with them what it is that you're needing to receive in return from them in order to help restore this balance. Okay, if this is about a relationship with another person. All right, so let's see if anything else comes through. I'm also getting meditation here. So really, like, meditation and reflection is going to help you recognize and come into the awareness around where this sense of imbalance was initiated, and where you can bring a sense of healing towards it, where you can start implementing the steps that you need to take to restore the sense of balance around this energy of reciprocity that needs to happen. All right, love, so let's go ahead and pull your last card. Your message is very straight to the point, very straightforward. So let's see what your last card is. This is from the Secret Garden deck. I think it's just called Secret Garden. All right, so let's see, what is pile one's last card? If it wants to come out, we'll take this top card. All right, so you have strength. Don't let weeds and thistles cultivate in your garden. Don't let weeds and thistles cultivate in your garden. Yes, so it just seems like you've just fallen into patterns of habit. And those patterns of habit have allowed you to get really comfortable, have allowed you to fall into these spaces of familiarity, of comfortability, maybe of this sense of addiction or codependency, or vice versa, where you've become the one that, somebody else or something else has become dependent on or addicted to in some ways. And so there's really just this need to kind of go into the garden and weed out the weeds, pull out the thistles, and recultivate this sense of beauty, this sense of flow, this sense of a love and harmony back into your garden, back upon the path that you're walking to pursue this passion, to pursue this dream, or to allow this bond, this connection that you have to flourish in the ways that it once did. Even though you're not necessarily going back, you're still moving forward on this journey. You're still moving forward in these connections. It's just that you are trying to seek, again, this sense of balance within the connection or upon the path, and how you're trying to get yourself there has just kind of, things have gotten a little comfortable, a little familiar, and almost like this energy of leaning on something or someone too much to kind of, I'm getting this energy of like dulling the senses, like not wanting to face that hard stuff. And it's not that it's necessarily hard, it's just requiring your attention, and it's requiring the implementation of you putting in a little bit of work and, digging out those weeds that you've allowed to overcome the path and to block your view of being able to move forward with this path, and getting back to the root of your truth and why you pursue this path or this connection in the first place. And so even though you've gone through this journey and you've learned so much and you've grown from it, you're trying to get back to what things once were, but you're not going to necessarily get back to it as a whole because you've learned so much and you've grown from it. But there is a way to essentially invite love, peace, dedication, trust, and reciprocity back into the connection, back upon the journey as a whole. It's just going to require you to go into that space of meditation, reflection, and then taking the steps to implement those changes to reinitiate that sense of balance within yourself and the situation or the connection. And so you have the strength, you have the capability, And you also have this sense of power and love that is still propelling you forward and still assuring you that this is something that's meant to be in your life, that it's something that you're not meant to give up on. You just need to sort of redirect and shift your perspective around where you're at now and not necessarily focusing on where you once were. It's time to look forward and make the changes that you need to make to assure yourself and ensure the path opens up for you to be able to move forward with that sense of strength and love and trust in yourself and all parties that may be involved in this situation as well. All right, love. So that is it for your reading pile 1. I thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes and comments and interactions just mean the world to me, and I thank you so much for tuning in. All right, love. So until next time, have a beautiful day. Bye. Hello, loves. Welcome to those of you who chose pile 2. So if you selected pile 2, you chose the gorgeous Flourite Teardrop here, or you chose the Cozy Witch Tarot deck. All right, loves. So we are going to just jump right into your reading today. And we are setting the intention to receive quick, straightforward messages of guidance that you need to hear and receive at this time. All right, that is too many cards, so we're going to put them back. But wow, your energy is jumping. Cards are jumping out of the deck for you. All right, so let's see. What does pile 2 need to know? What do they need to hear? All right, so let's see what your cards are. Okay, we have Knight of Wands. Sometimes you have to be willing to bend the rules a little. Knight of Wands. All right, we also have Six of Swords. All the Bored Witch. It's time to write a new chapter. All right, new beginnings coming in for pile 2. Wow, Ten of Swords. Hurt people, and hurt witches, hurt witches. Okay, pile 2. It's time. It is time to move on and move forward. All right, I'm getting this sense that you're already aware of this, but for some of you, I'm getting there's like almost like 2 different groups of people watching this. One, for some of you, you are still in a situation, a place, a relationship, an environment, a job, whatever it is, you're in a situation that is just bringing you down. It's causing you this energy of pain, turmoil, confusion, indecision, regret. You know, it's really in this Ten of Swords energy. And I feel that there's some of you that are holding on to this situation, possibly because of like subconscious beliefs, but there's also just this underlying feeling and thought that you're holding on to around fears of the unknown, you know, just quite not knowing what's next, okay? But I'm seeing here for you, pile 2, that even though you're unable to see what's next, if you were to decide, and it's time for you to decide, pile 2, it's time for you to decide to leave behind what's causing you this energy of pain and turmoil and regret. It's time to leave it behind, and it's time to move forward with the next step that is truly already available to you. And for some of you, you may not be able to quite yet see beyond what that next step is, because the next step for you is to just say goodbye to whatever is essentially creating this shadow of pain, of unknowing, of not being able to see what's next, because the next step is to just say goodbye and to leave it behind and to move forward onto a new path, to just decide that it's time to move forward and step into a new path, a new environment, a new relationship, a new job, a new project, okay, whatever it is for you specifically. Okay, and so on the other side of that, some of you have already done that work. You've already left it behind. But now, you know, you're still feeling the effects of what you have just left behind. You're still working through that process of shedding that essentially that old self of yours and the familiarity around the people, the places, the environment, whatever it is that you've left behind. You're still working on the mental and emotional processing of what you have physically left behind. So you've already taken the steps to move away from it, but now you're still sitting with the reflection of what it is that you have left behind, what it is that you've said goodbye to. Okay, and Spirit's saying keep going. Okay, so if you're thinking about going back, Spirit's coming in and they're saying no, don't go back. The Six of Swords, this Nine of Wands is confirmation that it's time for you to continue moving forward, to keep working at it. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to cry. It's okay to get upset, to rage, to get mad about whatever it is that you have left behind, whatever it is that hurts you. It's okay to allow yourself to feel the emotions of that pain, of that hurt, of that turmoil. So let yourself feel it if it's coming up. Just let yourself feel it. Let yourself process it. Your body will know how to process it, how to release it. Trust in what your body is communicating to you about what needs to be released and processed from what it is that you've just left behind physically, or what it is that you're about to leave behind physically. Okay. And with that guidance too, Spirit's saying, you know, if there are people in your life that you can open up to and communicate with and share with about what it is that you're working through, what it is that you're processing, reach out to those individuals and make sure that you're communicating with them about what you're feeling. But I feel that for a lot of you too, these are decisions and choices that you're making on your own, because it's almost like this reclamation of whatever it is that you've left behind. Okay, so if you're like leaving behind a connection, a relationship, it's like this reclamation of the relationship you have with yourself. If you're leaving behind a job, it's this like sense of reclamation of your time, of your energy, of your value. If you're leaving behind an environment that was not supportive to you, it's this reclamation of the energy of freedom and moving towards spaces that are more comfortable to you. So a reclamation of comfort, a reclamation of support. All right, so let's see if anything else comes through here for you, pile 2. Oh, okay, so Spirit, they wanted me to circle back around to what I was sharing around this sense of hesitancy for some of you. So some of you are not allowing yourself to move on from this situation because you may be holding on to like subconscious beliefs that we're going to label as rules, like it says here, rules. So let's see if Spirit will give me an example here. Okay, so they're giving me the example of career. And it's actually one that like I grew up hearing. And so the example is, you know, a lot of times people will recommend to you to, you know, if you're trying to find a new job, they'll tell you make sure that you keep the job that you have until you have a new one lined up. Okay, so that's essentially like a rule that people place on themselves to allow themselves this energy of safety and security. Okay, but associating that job with the energy of safety and security is essentially an illusion. And so there's this need to kind of bend the rules that you have been conditioned to believe around whatever it is that you're wanting to leave behind. Okay, so there's something that you keep telling yourself that you can't leave this situation, this energy, this connection behind, because something else has to take its place or something else has to happen as a sense of like this sense of safety or security, or just like because this is just what you were taught to believe. You're just convincing yourself that you can't leave behind until this, that, or this happens because of these rules that you've placed around the situation. And so Spirit's coming in and saying, how can you shift that belief? How can you bend those rules a little bit to give yourself grace and flexibility to be able to move on from this situation that's ultimately bringing you down and not actually providing you with what you're convincing yourself you're going to be provided with when or if that imaginary thing comes in to take its place. Like you're already not feeling that sense of safety and security, and you won't feel it until you essentially leave it behind and open up the energetic space for something to come in and show you where that greater sense of safety and security comes from, which essentially comes from you making the decisions and choices that your heart, your intuition, your soul is guiding you to make for yourself. That exists within and from you, taking back that control of yourself and your life overall, and the choices that you're making as to where you are choosing to really allow your energy to flow, or where you're allowing your energy to exist. Okay. All right, so let's see if anything else comes through. I'm just really drawn to like this fox on her shirt, so foxes may be significant to someone, and then she has all these swords on her bag, of course, because this is the 6 of swords here, but swords could be significant to somebody. I'm also getting like just this energy of emotion coming through here, where you're processing a lot of emotion, but you're processing it in the mind. So you may be getting caught up in just continually thinking about the situation over and over, reflecting on what you could have done differently, or what you wished somebody else would have done differently, or just like wishing that things had gone a different way. You know, you're just going down the path of woulda, shoulda, coulda. And Spirit's just coming in to remind you to try to get out of that space and, yes, invite in the light. Okay, so you may be allowing your mind to get caught up in the shadows of what no longer exists, and then we have the light again. And just bring yourself back into the space of seeing things from a different perspective, and focusing on yourself and the path forward, and not really focusing on what it is that you've just left behind, because that is in the past. Of course, allow yourself to feel any emotion, to feel and express any emotions that come up when it comes to this path, like we talked about with you still possibly being in the emotional and mental processing of that release. Of course, allow yourself to feel that out, but don't forget to let the light in, because that's what's going to bring forth this transformation. But that light, I feel, is going to naturally come through in this situation, because it's going to come through from you deciding to leave it behind and no longer allow yourself to be involved and connected with connections, situations, and experiences that bring you down. Okay, so I drew 2 oracle cards from the Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle, and you have the Sun Magic card, number 37. Don't allow the power of your light to scare you into dimming yourself. Yes, okay, yes, we love that. And then we also have Wild Flowers with number 44. When you allow yourself to imagine wildly, worlds of worlds are created. Yes. Love. There's a fox right here again, right under the Knight of Wands. So foxes are significant. Foxes, they can be like really wily, really clever creatures. They're very resourceful. And so for some of you, again, this is around that bending the rules message that we talked about, where it's like you're hesitant to move forward on your own, or to leave whatever it is that you're being guided to leave behind, because you have this hesitancy or this fear that like you just don't know what's going to happen, that fear of the unknown. You don't know what's next. You don't know how XYZ is going to happen for you. You don't know how you're going to make ends meet. You don't know if there will be a place for you to move into. You don't know if there will be a job lined up. You don't know if there will be new people for you to connect with. But you have the fox here as your spirit animal guide, and foxes find a way to make it work no matter what. They're very clever, they're very resourceful, and so no matter what, you will be able to make ends meet. You will be able to make new connections. You will be able to get yourself through this path. Okay, you are finally allowing yourself to tap into that inner light of yours, and to say no to spaces that are bringing you down, that are weighing you down, that have been bringing you down and weighing you down. And now you're allowing yourself to access the light within. So don't dim it just because you don't know what's right around the corner. You'll figure out what's right around the corner as you keep walking towards it. And if when you get to that corner and you see what's around it, if you decide that it's not for you, it's not for you, keep going in the straight line until there is a corner that you actually want to turn about. All right, but with this Wildflowers card here paired with Sun Magic, I just feel that you are moving closer towards a dream of yours, a dream that you have kept hidden within because of the spaces and the connections that you were involved in that were essentially dimming your light. And now that you are moving on from those situations and experiences, you're able to let your light shine freely. You're able to let it shine forth. And that's naturally going to allow you to create with and connect with the experiences, the lands, the people, the connections that you have always dreamt of connecting with and experiencing. So keep moving forward, pile 2. Keep moving forward. 44 may be significant to you, and also 6s. Okay, that's your angel numbers coming through for you, pile 2. So let's go ahead and see what your last card is here from the Secret Garden deck. Okay, you had 2 fall out. So we have retreat. Never underestimate the healing power of a quiet moment. And then you also have opportunity. There's no use looking for luck. It arrives at unexpected times. Look at that confirmation, opportunity. So when you allow yourself to retreat and move away from the things that have been weighing you down and just allow yourself to trust in your intuition and what your intuitive, emotional, and mental body is speaking to you, when you allow yourself to move away from it and come into a space of allowing yourself to heal and process from all that pain and to just let it out and release it. And then to continue moving forward on your own to ignite the light within that you've been dimming from being in these heavy emotional spaces that just don't support you. The opportunities that you're seeking will come through. You don't have to go looking for it. It's going to arrive for you exactly when it's meant to. Look at this 6 of Swords card here. She's waiting at the docks, but look, the boat is still coming in. And of course, you know, she's looking out at it. She sees when it's coming in, but she doesn't know exactly when it's going to land. She doesn't know exactly when it's going to come through, but she knows that it's going to dock eventually, and she'll be able to get on it. And she'll be able to move forward. And so just trust that what you're wanting to experience, what you have prayed for, what you have wished for, that request has already been made, and it's a definite that it's going to dock. It's going to land in your lap. It's going to come through for you. For now, you just have to take care of yourself and come back into yourself. All right, loves? All right, love. So that is it for your messages today. I thank you so much for tuning in and receiving these messages of guidance. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes, comments, and support mean the world to me. I thank you so much, Pile 2. All right, loves. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Until next time. Bye. Hello, loves. Welcome into your reading today to those of you who chose pile 3. So if you chose pile 3, you were drawn to the beautiful Larimar stone or the Tarot of Divine. All right, love, so we are going to just jump right into your reading today and start pulling your tarot cards to see what messages of guidance you most need to hear and receive at this time. All right, so your cards are coming out very nicely, so I definitely feel like you are in the flow with something. You're moving through something with fluidity, with ease. Alright, let's try to get your last card, though it doesn't want to come out. There you go. I'm also feeling drawn to pull that one, so we'll get an extra card for you. Okay, so you have the 9 of Wands. We also have the 3 of Wands. Alright, so we've got some Wands energy. Queen of Wands. Wow. Passion. Fire. Movement. 7 of Wands. Wow. All Wands in your reading. Lots of momentum happening here. Lots of forward motion, forward movement. Keep going. Your cards are telling you to keep going. I feel that whatever it is that you are working on right now, it's almost like this reclamation of self. And this is kind of an energy that keeps coming up in the readings today. And I feel that this is definitely connected to a little bit the numerology here of the year, so 2025, is a universal number 9 year. If we break down the numbers in 2025, we add all those numbers up, we get the number 9. And I talked a little bit about this in my December pick a card reading. And since this is coming up, if you feel called to, you may want to tune into the beginning portion of that reading, because before I do the monthly pick a card readings, I talk a little bit about the astrology transits. But for you specifically, I did talk about the numerology of the year and of the month December specifically. And so I'll just share a little bit about it here too. So with this year 2025 being a universal 9 year, 9s represent this energy of endings. And with us being in December, the last month of the year, this is sort of like our last call to bring closure and release to anything that we are needing to fully release from our being, from our environments, from our connections, our experiences, in order to fully align with this sort of reclamation of self, with the reclamation of a new path, new way of being, new way of seeing, new way of connecting with and doing things in your day-to-day life. Okay, and so I'm feeling here that that is very significant to you, in the sense that you have put a lot to rest over the past couple months, over this past year. You have put a lot to rest, and there may be a couple things that you are still working on releasing or bringing this energy of transformation to. And so really what your message is here today is to just keep working at it, because I feel that you are very much in alignment with the present energies that the collective conscious is sort of working through right now, in relation to the significance of the numerology of the year, numerology of the month, with December being the last month of the year, and also maybe a little bit with like astrology transits that you may be working through as well. Okay, so if you feel called to, you may want to check out the beginning of that December pick a card reading, where we talk about the numerology and the astrology of the month of December. Okay. But let's go ahead and see if we can get a little more here with your message, because it's so straightforward. These are meant to be straightforward messages here, but yours message is just to like keep moving forward. Just keep at it. Whatever it is that you are working on, whether or not you can fully see the results yet, the results will come as long as you keep putting in the time, energy, and efforts that you are putting forth now and have been putting forth. You will eventually see the results that you're hoping to see, especially with this Queen of Wands here and the Three of Wands too, where it's like you're continuing to climb the ladder, you're continuing to build the foundations, which will allow you to have a choice as to how things work out. Okay, and so what I mean by that, I'm getting a couple different examples here, where, you know, maybe you're trying to essentially like climb a corporate ladder. These are just examples. You're trying to climb a corporate ladder. You want to get a specific promotion. You want to be in a specific position within the company. And so you're doing the work that you need to do to allow yourself to align with being able to receive that promotion, being able to receive that job offer. And then what I'm seeing is like, once you get to that point of being able to receive that promotion or that job offer, you're going to actually be able to decide among a multitude of opportunities. You know, maybe multiple promotions will open up to you, or multiple positions within that company, or maybe within other companies will open up to you. Other people will be, you know, calling you up, wanting you to come work for them in a higher position or a different position. But it's like you will be given a choice. Okay. And then another example I'm seeing here with the Nine of Wands and the house in the background, even the castle here in the background, the Three of Wands, is maybe some of you are, you know, maybe you're like putting away money, saving for like a dream home, or just like putting away money to buy a home or something like that. And when it comes time for you to actually, you know, start looking to sign the documents to buy this home or to sign the lease, you will have the options, you know, like the options will be in your favor. Okay, I'm seeing that the options will be in your favor. You won't have to settle for less because of the work that you're putting forth now, because of the foundation you're laying for yourself now, because of what the steps you're taking, the energy you're culminating within yourself. The opportunities will be yours to choose from. It's not something that you're just going to have to settle on. You know, it's not like you're just going to get one offer and you'll have to settle. You are putting in so much effort, so much dedication and passion and strength to build a really stable, really sturdy foundation now, that when the time comes for you to make it to the end of this journey, the end of this path, the ball will be in your court and you'll get to decide where to throw it, where to toss it, where it lands. So keep moving forward, keep working at it. All right, loves, let's go ahead and pull your oracle cards. Really beautiful message here for you, pile 3. This Queen of Wands card, it's reminding me of like Hawaii, so like Paradise Islands, so maybe even a little bit Guam or the Philippines could be significant to somebody. Wow, that card just got a little bent. It just flew out of the deck. Okay, so yeah, like Hawaiian Islands, Guam, the Philippines, maybe even like New Zealand. Maybe someone's trying to travel there or trying to move to one of those places, so this could just be confirmation for someone specific. All right, but let's see what your oracle cards are. So we have Sunset Dinner number 39. Look at that. An invitation awaits you. Yell to the stars that you are ready to go. Yes, people are going to be inviting you into their spaces. You won't have to invite them in. You won't have to be the one making the calls. You'll be the one deciding where to go next, what to do next, what to align with, what to say yes to, what to say no to. All right, you also have insects, number 21. Vigilance is necessary at this time. Heed the warning. Okay, so this is, again, just confirmation. This is confirmation that you will get to be making the decisions ultimately. I am getting with this insects card here where it's like there are things hidden. There are things that you're not quite yet aware of, things that you can't quite yet see. And I feel like it's almost like the overall message of what I've been sharing here, because right now where you're at, the message is to just keep working at it, keep moving forward. Even though you can't quite yet see that you have actually received those opportunities, that you actually have people knocking on your door wanting to work with you, wanting to go on dates with you, wanting you to buy their homes, buy their properties, even though you can't quite yet see that, it's kind of hidden from you. It's kind of like maybe a couple weeks, couple months away from you being able to actually land in that space of being able to have people just, you know, calling you in, offering you these opportunities. It's still there, but it's just not yet in your direct field of sight, your direct field of vision, because you're still in the spaces of laying the foundation, climbing the ladder, putting things into place so that everything can fall into place exactly as it's meant to and when it's meant to for your greater purpose and vision, and ultimately this reclamation of self. So you're also, so what I'm seeing with that too is like you're also on a journey to, how can I put this? Let's see here, Spirit. I'm seeing that even though you are dedicating your time, energy, and attention towards something in the physical, where you're trying to build some type of strong physical external foundation, this journey, this process is also teaching you something more about yourself and about the power that you possess. Okay. Yes, that's the message. Like it's teaching you more about yourself. And that's another thing that you may not quite yet be able to see just yet, is just how significant this external physical journey is to you on a mind, body, and soul level as well. So ultimately, I know we sound like a broken record over here, but just keep going, keep trying, keep pushing forward. And you already know this too, pal. You know that you just have to keep going. You have to keep working at it. And eventually you're going to see results better than you're imagining, better than you're envisioning for yourself. Like, it's going to be so much more than you're hoping for it to be. All right, love, so let's pull your last card now. Okay, you have 2 cards here. So rest, slow down. You don't have to solve everything today. While we have contradicting cards here. And then move. A rolling stone gathers no moss. Okay, so what I'm seeing with these cards here, confirmation, move, continue moving forward. With the rest card though, it's just a reminder to don't forget to take breaks. Don't forget to slow down, okay? Also, another message with this card, rush, is because your overall message is to keep moving forward, keep working at it. If you find yourself in a space or a situation where you're trying to rush through something, that is a signifier that you really need to slow down and question what it is that you're trying to achieve. Because usually when you're rushing through something, it means that you're not really being present with what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, or it means that you're trying to just rush through something because it's not something that you really want to be doing or necessarily should be doing. And so if you find yourself in that energy of just trying to rush to get something done just for the sake of getting it done, this is your reminder to slow down and reflect on why you're doing that anyways. Is it truly important to you? Is it truly a priority? Or can you, and if it is, can you slow down and just allow yourself to be with the process, no matter how long it takes, no matter what it requires of you, because there is beauty in allowing yourself to slow down and just enjoy the process. Take your time with it. There are lessons that you will learn from being fully present with the process, okay? Even if you're wanting to try to force it to be sped up. And then the other one is, don't forget to come into periods of rest, because when you come into periods of rest, you allow yourself time and space for reflection, rejuvenation, and restoration, so that when you show up again into the spaces of where you're having to exert physical efforts, you're able to pursue those efforts with a lot more strength, with a lot more dedication, a lot more awareness and presence and connection. All right, loves. All right, so keep moving forward, loves. You've got this. The opportunities will be coming in for you. Again, I'm seeing in a couple weeks to possibly a couple months time, but you are right on the money with this. You're almost there. Keep working at it. You've got this. All right, thank you so much, loves. To those of you who chose pile 3, if you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes, your comments, and connection mean the world to me. Thank you so much for tuning in and being here. All right, loves, I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Until next time, bye. Hello, loves. Welcome to those of you who chose pile 4. So if you chose pile 4, you are drawn to the cute little flower agate mushroom or the Wildwood tarot. All right, love, so we are just going to jump right in today and start pulling your tarot cards so we can get your straightforward messages of guidance. So let's see, what does pile 4 need to know? All right, your cards do not want to come out. So there's a little bit of this stuck energy happening here, pile 4. Something you are not, possibly not wanting to face, not wanting to move on from. Let's see what this is. All right, so we have 10 of Bows, responsibility, 7 of Stones, healing, and 16, the blasted oak, also known as the Tower. All right, loves. So yeah, there is this heavy energy coming through here, where something just, with the 10 of Bows, the 10 of Bows is this card of like just bearing this heavy weight and feeling like you have to almost like take on everything on your own, and you know, taking on this greater sense of responsibility for things that may not even be yours to have taken on. And actually with the Seven of Stones healing card here too, I'm seeing that some of you may actually be like intuitive healers, medicine men or women, where you may also be just naturally empathic, or like a highly sensitive individual, and you just naturally really care about others. You may also be a caregiver or a teacher, you know, some kind of like a service worker, but also I'm seeing like a spiritual service worker as well. Like there's this intertwining energy of like spirituality, or just like taking on the energy of others and having to process it for yourself. But I feel that there is a lot of this energy like being meshed together, where it's like you're taking on things that just are not your responsibility to take on. And so even though you may see yourself in the light of being a healer for others or being a guide for others, whether it be through, you know, spiritual healing practices, medicinal practices, or like teaching, maybe being a teacher in some way, you cannot do the inner healing work for others. You can only do it for yourself. You cannot heal others where they're not ready to heal, where they're not ready to face those things within. You can offer them a sense of comfort, a sense of safety and space, but Spirit's not even really wanting me to go down that path, because you already know that. And so what Spirit is saying is it's actually time for you to come back to yourself and to provide yourself with the healing energies, with the guidance, with the spaces of safety and love and trust within yourself. Okay, so there's something going on within yourself where you may almost be like using your line of work or your spiritual services or gifts as a distraction from being able to face what needs actual healing from within yourself. And with the Tower card here, I almost feel as though whether you allow yourself to face these truths or not, things within your line of work or these connections, they're going to kind of fall away from you. There's going to be blocks. There's going to be stagnancy. I see that you're still going to be trying to take on the sort of responsibility here of needing to be a provider or a caregiver or a guide for these individuals that you have worked with or that you've supported through things, you know, maybe your students, clients, maybe even children. You know, maybe you're like a parent, your children are growing up, they no longer need your guidance in the ways that they once did, and you know, it's time for you to return to yourself, which it could be something that you're not really used to, because you're used to always kind of being on top of your children, guiding them, focusing on them, and not really focusing on yourself. Same thing with being a teacher. You know, maybe some of your students are now graduating, some students that you became really close to, that really looked up to you for guidance and inspiration, now they're graduating or they're moving on to a different school, a different grade, and you're no longer connecting with them as much or as often. And so now it's time to again bring that focus back to yourself and let them go, let them spread their wings and fly, and trust that they will be able to provide themselves with the healing, the trust, the wisdom, the confidence that you instilled in them when you were working directly with them. But again, it's not about the other individuals. It's more so about coming back to yourself, because there's something within you that really needs your attention, that needs you to give to yourself what you constantly give to others, and to stop spreading yourself thin by using this means of needing to be there for others as a distraction from being there for yourself. Okay, loves. All right, so we have 7 here, and we also have 16, which adds up to 7. So 7s could be significant to you. And then also the 10 here represents this time of transition. So you may be in a time of transition. Maybe you are going from like maiden to mother, or mother to crone. I'm getting the energy of like menopause coming in. So some of you could be going through menopause, or you're like connected with somebody who's going through that, or like perimenopause. That's a very specific message coming up for someone as just a confirmation that this is your reading. Okay. Just times of transition. Okay, also like graduation. So you're graduating, others are graduating, and it's just a reflection that essentially you're graduating from the connections and from what you provided to those connections, and now it's time to ultimately provide what you gave to those connections to yourself, to this new start, new beginning, to this refresh. You're kind of going through a refresh here, a renewal. That's the word. A renewal. All right, so let's see what your oracle cards are here, pile 4. All right, so we've got number 3, Cancer. Call yourself back from all space and time to feel, sense, and reflect on the oceans of your present within. I love that this came out because this is the astrology sign Cancer, which is a very intuitive, very empathic sign. Cancers are they're represented by like the mother, like this is the mother sign. And that's the energy that we've been talking about here, where it's like you constantly feel like you need to mother others, you need to constantly be there for others, you need to be the nurturer, the caretaker, the caregiver, the care provider. But you also have to come back into yourself. You know, I'm a Cancer myself. As a Cancer, you have to come back into yourself and make sure that you're also nourishing your own cup. Otherwise, things will get a little bit too chaotic, a little bit too watery, pun intended, pun not intended. Like things will just get a little bit too overwhelming. It will feel like you're carrying this heavy burden because you're taking on so much from others, but you're not allowing yourself to give back to yourself what you need to be able to show up to provide for others from a space of being able to, you know, stand up straight and walk up this mountain without having to carry all these things on your back. All right. So we also have Scavenger Hunt number 32. What you thought was hidden is hiding in plain sight. All right, so what I'm seeing here for some of you is I'm seeing a couple different things, but basically the overall energy of this card coming out here is that you keep looking for answers. You keep looking for understanding. All right, it's almost like this energy where it's like things kind of keep going wrong, or things just keep feeling really heavy. Things are not working out how you're wanting them to work out. You feel depleted, you feel down, but you keep trying to show up for others when all along you really need to show up for yourself. And so it's like you keep trying to fill your cup up by doing something that you love, something that brings you joy, which essentially is being there for others, teaching others, guiding others, helping to show others how to heal themselves, or even providing them with healing services, spiritual services. But it's not working to bring you this deeper sense of fulfillment that you're seeking, because your foundation has kind of fallen, it's crumbled, it's dissipated, things have changed, things have transitioned. And then there's the other side of it too, where you're just not nourishing yourself, you're not providing to yourself what you're providing to others, and it's time to give that back to yourself once again. So it's like the answers you're seeking, they're literally right in front of you. It's like everything you're doing for everyone else, do that for yourself. It's okay to say no to others. All right, your last card just flew out of the deck. Let's see what it is. Look at that. Rest. Slow down. You don't have to solve everything today. You don't have to be there for everyone. You don't have to figure it all out today. You can just be with yourself. You can just go into your little bubble of self and solitude. Go into your bubble of healing with yourself. Lay everything down to rest. And to just be with yourself and to just feel out what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, to express anything that you need to express, and to just slow down and be present with yourself, with your own intuition, with what needs healing within you and not within everyone and everything outside of you. Come back to yourself, come back to a space of rest, and the answers you're seeking, the answers that aren't showing up for you, will show up in those periods, in those moments of stillness and solitude and surrender. All right, pile 4. That was it for your messages. Wow, we went by really quickly in your reading, but your messages did come through very clearly, very straightforward. So I hope that these messages resonate with you and bring you the guidance that you're needing to hear and receive at this time. Oh, I will mention we also have the 3s here. So you are supported in this journey. Your angels, your ancestors, God, Goddess, universe is trying to communicate with you about what it is that you're working through. You just have to slow down and rest and surrender to self. Lay everything down that you think you have to do. Push everyone to the side for a moment. Turn your phone off. Turn your calls off. Cancel those meetings. Just for a moment. They will be fine without you. They will get through it without you. And if they don't, then you'll be there to answer them tomorrow. And all will be fine. All will be well. Come back to yourself. Give yourself permission to rest. To tap in to what it is that you need most in this moment now. All right, love. So that is it for your reading today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this reading, please give this video a thumbs up. Your likes and comments and support mean the world to me, loves. Thank you so much once again. I'm wishing you a beautiful day. Until next time. Bye, loves.